unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear. Now, obviously, this letter is fake and sounds like but still, I'd like to thank whoever sent it. Though they could use some
again with Mr. Bear.
Yo, wait a minute. This nigga said 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear.
Yeah, now in this image, don't make it no bear. No, yeah.
What's goody with y'all, man? Yo, what's up with y'all, man? Yo, this is Reef'Lik.
And this is Leaky.
And this is Reef'Lik Anime Horror Gang. What's goody with y'all? Got another video.
Today we're going to be reacting to Tuv.
Yo, and shout out to Tuv, man. Yo, you the GOAT, my G. Yo, Tuv, I'm not even going to front with you, homie. Yo, your videos is fire, bro. Yo, keep on doing the good work, man. Yo, y'all, please go subscribe to Tuv, man. Yo, he got that Cherry Soda song, man. Yo, Brody, that song is fire, bro. Yo, you know how to make music, Brody. You already know. So please show him some love and support on his channel as well, man. You already know.
So please like, comment, subscribe, and join our big happy family.
Yes, join the family, Anime Horror Gang. Once you join the family, you're a supreme guy. You're a loser. You're a supreme loser over here. And we love y'all so much, man. For the newbies, please hit that bell, and everybody else who's watching our video that haven't subscribed yet, please hit the bell so y'all can see more stuff from us, because we got way more stuff coming on the way, and we want y'all to be the first ones to know about it. So please hit that bell and be a part of this family, y'all, because y'all way more than subscribers. That ain't the subscribe button, man. That's the family button, man. You already know. That ain't no subscriber button. That's the family button. Anime Horror Gang button. You already know. So please press that button, y'all. We love y'all so much, man. Thank y'all for y'all love and support. If you got more anime, horror, or Japanese-based stuff that y'all want us to check out for, like, reactions or gameplays, please let us know in the comments, and we'll definitely check them out. So please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's begin! Horror Gang! Let's get it! Original CrEepyPaSta volume 2 from Tuv. We already did volume 1, so please go into our horror section on the channel and check it out. So we already did volume 1, and y'all will enjoy it. So just type in Tuv on our channel and you could definitely find it in the horror section. So please check it out. Okay, so last time we stopped at 1:05 and a couple of seconds. So I took it back a little bit so we could catch up with the story and stuff. So I'll just rewind it back a little bit. I ain't rewinded too far back. So we're back at where we started from the last video, and we're gonna try our best to finish this video out. We might as well just finish it out, since we're here. So, like, please shout out to Tuv, y'all. Tuv's doing his thing, man, with these horror videos and these creepy videos, and we love his channel so much, y'all. Please show him some love and support. Please share our video as well, man. We love y'all so much. Anime Horror Gang. Let's get right to this, man, because it's about to be a minute.
People have seen Aldo always either wearing a bear mask or the mask in a full-body bear costume. No, I do not believe this is true, and in fact simply a myth created by the residents of Caledon. The story does not seem plausible in any way. Why did no one call the police? Didn't this guy look suspicious? And other questions like these leave the story invalid. I may visit the storm today, not because I believe the story, but because I want an excuse to visit Caledon again, so this blog doesn't die. With no more tapes to watch, I don't know what I can talk about anymore. Thanks for supporting me and my blog. I know many are looking forward to more information about what happened in Caledon during the year 1999, and I will do my best to continue my research into the topic. Elliot out. Update. October 7th, 2010. Wow. Nearly 5 months since I last updated. I'm guessing everyone pretty much knows I was dead, right? Thankfully, I'm not. But in all my seriousness, I seriously have been busy these past few months, and a blog about something that could have killed me as a kid is a little low on my current priorities list. As of now, I'm living in Waterloo, Ontario, attending the University of Waterloo for computer engineering. Yeah, I'm a keener. As you can imagine, engineering is no walk in the park, so obviously I nearly forgot about this blog, but as you can see now, I'm back. I remember to visit the storm drain the kids from Caledon Forest told me about. It was out in a clearing between the wooded areas nearby a marsh. Unfortunately, I found absolutely nothing, except for a turtle that retreated into its built-in home when it saw me. I snapped some pics of the pipe, which I posted as well. Also, let me tell you, it was not a storm drain like they said it was. What I saw was a simple pipe, possibly to channel excess water from the marsh. When I returned from Caledon, however, I simply kept putting off uploading everything until I forgot all about my blog. It just didn't seem that important anymore. Please forgive me. It wasn't until only recently that I am now interested in my case again. On September 10th, I received an email from this email address, returntheb@hotmail.com. Funny, am I right? Well, it gets better. I'm gonna copy and paste that exact email this guy sent me. Dear Elliot, my dear dear boy. You see, this story may or may not be true, but it could happen. There are many slots for airtime. If you have money, you can have a public access TV channel. Some public access channels share airtime, like EWTN, religious channel based out of Michigan, that shows Catholic-based programming, but during off-air hours have independent shows or just blue screen. Cable networks have empty channels available for rent space, so the scenario of a
That sounds fire.
on basic TV is not far-fetched at all. However, public access TV is widely
Yo, I wish we had that, like, now. Like, can you imagine, like, you trying to, like, build up your platform and you could just go up on there and just ask them for permission to, like, can we get some of that airtime for us and we could use it for us?
Yeah.
And stuff, and they let you.
I see that, though.
And they let you do it. So, like, that's crazy. I wish they do that now. I know they don't do it no more. So, like, I wish they do it now. Like, you already know.
Yeah.
reviewed and can be terminated at any time. These are the rules for the United States, not for Canada, where the story took place. So if this happened in the US, the pedo would be tracked and arrested immediately.
Facts.
Yep.
But it's unlikely. 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear. Now, obviously, this letter is fake and sounds
What?
still, I'd like to thank whoever sent it. Though they could use some
Again with Mr. Bear.
Yo, wait a minute. This nigga said 100 fuzzy hugs, Mr. Bear.
Yeah, that in this image don't make it no bear. No.
Yo, look at the sweater, bro. He about to snuggle you to death.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie. You came up to me with that costume like that, bro. I'm just gonna, man. We don't condone violence, but I'm straight up socking you at that point. I'm socking you. No, bro. Like, you're a weirdo. No, a renegade weirdo.
Yeah.
We're weirdos. That's a renegade weirdo right there. Mr. Bear, 100 fuzzy hugs. Like, get the...
So he did too. I mean, what are the chances of this being real? How would Mr. Bear know all this about public access TV and about when I went to Caledon on those occasions? More or less know my email or me still being interested in his seller. I'm gonna send a reply to return to him. Wow.
Why?
Address. You can tell someone wanted to freak me out. It didn't really work though. Although, to whomever you are, thank you for sparking my interest back into the full matter. Maybe I can find out more about what happened to Mr. Bear. Hopefully, because although I don't buy that email, part of me still feels anxious. Thank you to all those who are still following me and have become avid fans. You are also why I am choosing to continue this. Thanks, guys. Update, November 7th, 2010. Wow. I can't believe this blog hasn't been deleted yet. I haven't posted anything for so long. I have my reasons, and I'd rather not discuss them just yet. It has been a rather traumatic year for me. I shouldn't have gone back trying to relive the mysteries of my childhood, but I couldn't resist. It has been over a year since my last post, and a lot has happened. Let's recap where I'm at right now with regards to the whole Mr. Bear incident. returntheme@hotmail.com is no longer in use. I tried replying to the email, but I got no reply. I tried again a while back, still no response. I've actually moved up to Ottawa, capital of Canada for those who don't know, for university, so I haven't been back to Caledon or back home in the Peel region for a while. I had my reasons for leaving, as you could guess why. I had to make an email account because people keep prank emailing me, pretending to be Mr. Bear. Thanks a lot, guys. Not. Why have I ventured back to this blog? Mitchell Wilson, remember my dad's ex-cop friend, gave me a phone call on October 23rd about a tape that was found in a branch of the Brampton Public Library. Brampton is my hometown, in case you haven't picked up on that. He claims he isn't allowed to discuss the contents of the tape with me, as it's still evidence.
Oh, wow.
So I'm gonna come check it out when I return home. That tape got the gears grinding again, because we all know what was on the last tapes I saw. I can only imagine what could be on it. I'm guessing it must have something to do with Caledon and Local 21. I guess I just wanted to say I'm continuing this blog, and thank you for everyone who still follows it. I don't know when my next entry will be, but when I see that tape, I'll write what I find. I don't know what to expect. The idea of seeing another tape has gotten me interested in this whole mystery all over again. Elliot, update, January 21st, 2011. It has been a long year for me. University has been giving me the usual sleepless nights, especially since I transferred to Ottawa, which is
man.
sarcasm. I'm back home with my dad in Brampton.
I remember them nights, man.
18th of December, and would have been visiting with friends and family, or at least that's what I would have rather have done. Now that festive.
Y'all remember them nights in college? I know, man, y'all. I used to come back home from doing classes all day, and I used to be done. And then it's crazy because after when I had to do classes, I had to go to work.
Man, I bet you was tired.
No, y'all, I had to go do football freshman year. This is what happened freshman year to me. I had to go. This was before COVID. I had to play football. Then after football was done, I had to go to a class after that. Then after when I had to do that, I had a tiny bit of free time to sleep, but I couldn't even fully sleep because I felt like I would have missed my training, which is you have to go to training for the football, because if you don't go to training, during that practice, and in the practice, is these things called big wooden cubes that they had, dices, and whatever it rolls on, that's how, like, for example, if you roll on a 1 and a 2, that means it's 12. So that means they'll have you doing 12 suicides nonstop for you to keep on going just because you missed practice. And if you're not going good enough or you're not going fast enough, they will double it.
Yeah.
And then if you get both eyes, like both ones, those are snake eyes. So if you get snake eyes, you are officially done. You're done. You're going to be working out to the bone after you're done doing practice.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So can you imagine after you're done doing regular practice, you gotta do that? And then after I'm done doing that, I gotta do the rest of my classes for the day, which be like around like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Then I haven't even really ate yet. And then can you imagine, right when I'm done with that, my mom gotta come and grab me at the campus and then go to the janitor job. And then after the janitor job, I gotta go home and go to sleep, get all my homework done on the computer, and then do the same thing over again.
That's crazy. That is nuts, man.
That my schedule was insane. I couldn't even really sleep, y'all. I was really falling asleep in class. I said one of these things have to go. I'm sorry, bro.
Like at this time of the month is absent. To answer the hundreds of emails and comments I got, yes, I did see the tapes that my dad's friend, Mitchell Wilson, promised to show me. These tapes, however, act as a curse. I want to know more, yet I want to forget everything. I can't help it. I needed to see those tapes. Not only for myself, but for all you guys who are just as intrigued as I am by that ominous man in a bear suit from my past. However, after viewing those tapes, I feel that pit of dread deep inside me once again. That feeling where I know that all those kids in those videos are dead. That I could have been one of those kids. And that humanity is a dark, dark place. Let's skip this paragraph for the juicier details below.
It's a dark place.
Yep.
On January 1st, I called Mitchell Wilson and asked if there was a time where I could come by and view the tapes. Things were pretty slow at the station because of a snowstorm, so he said I could come down anytime that day. The tapes were located at a branch not too far from me, so I braved those slushy roads and terrible Bampton drivers and made my way to the Peel Regional Police Station located at the Vermilion City Center. I met Wilson at the front desk, where he then led me to the second floor and into a small office. He instructed me to have a seat and wait while he went and got the tapes. Before leaving the office, he turned to me and said, "I know you're curious, but are you sure you want to do this?" Of course I did, or at least thought so. Besides, Wilson's friends had pulled a lot of strings to get me in there, and I didn't want to waste the opportunity. This particular station had 2 tapes on hand. I was only able to watch a few minutes of footage, however, because the second tape was apparently too damaged to be played on a VCR. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 30. Mr. Bear never ceases to disturb me, especially after what almost happened when I was younger. This episode took place outside in a forest at dusk, making it slightly hard to see, especially considering the quality of the film, a trademark of anything from Caledon Local 21. The episode started with the camera being held in the paws of Mr. Bear aiming it at himself. That bear mask, it looked more sinister in the shadows of the trees. The unmistakable voice spoke up. "Hello, children. Today I will be doing a wonderful thing for my friends. I will be delivering them to a faraway land where they will surely be happy." Mr. Bear turned the camera around to show an ATV with an attached trailer.
Oh no, man.
The trailer contained 7 motionless children lying side by side.
This bear ain't playing no games.
There will be more on the way
Hey,
soon.
he dangerous, man.
This bear is dangerous.
Tarp spread on the ground. He picked the
Now you know, I'm not gonna lie. I know this joke. Wait a minute. After this ad,
at least.
I'm not gonna lie. I know this joke is. I know this might be too soon, but I have to say this joke before I forget it. Yo, I know. You know how we hunt bears. Now we know how it feels to be hunted.
Yeah.
We're being the hunted. We're the hunted.
Yeah.
Like literally, y'all. Like if there's a bear like this that was really active like that out here snatching up kids, bro, we're being hunted.
Yeah, that is.
And what makes you think that he ain't gonna go after the adults next? Like we're the hunted.
That's terrifying, man. That's terrifying.
Look at this thing.
Yo.
Mr. Bear taking each kid, dropping them into the hole. I asked Wilson if they were dead, to which he shook his head and replied, "Not yet." Soon, all the kids were in the pit. Some were in awkward positions due to being tossed in, but they remained unconscious. The vitamin C will surely help these children on the great journey that awaits them. Mr. Bear mentioned that as he panned the camera towards multiple bottles of gasoline beside a bush. The camera zoomed into the bottles as Mr. Bear hummed before the episode ended. Wilson revealed to me that these were 7 of the 16 victims found burnt to a crisp. The feeling of what the man playing Mr. Bear used to light them on fire. A pit full of burning children. Who the fuck would do that? A feeling of dread.
Why, Yogi?
Once I realized that
Yeah. No, that's not Yogi, man. That's not Yogi.
Man, Yogi got mad that he ain't getting them picnic baskets. That's what it is.
Dude.
Yo, he back because he ain't getting them picnic baskets.
I just need some time to get myself together. Man who ran Khaled in Local 21 is still out there. More to come soon. Elliot. Update April 5th, 2011. I wanted to update more. I truly did. However, certain circumstances had turned me off the whole Khaled and Local 21 thing. I've since then had hundreds of emails about my blog and was even in contact with a magazine about my story. But now is the time to come clean to everyone. Where have I been for an entire year? The story of Pandora's box is true, and I opened it. I opened it when I watched the second tape in the possession of the Vermilion Police Branch. The other subject I'd like to address is the number of joke and fake emails I've been getting from people claiming to be Mr. Bear. Let's start with the second tape. As it is
You always got them people.
Yep.
After a few weeks of playing silent, I decided to ask
Literally, though.
if I could view that infamous second tape.
I cannot just sit there knowing that somebody's typing something that they really is scared about, and I mean me making an account like, yo, man, I'm here coming to get you. Like,
Trying to impersonate the dude, just trying to get a reaction, though.
thank you. Like, y'all is a renegade weirdos for that. Like,
In which he admitted that he had hoped that I would forget about asking him again, but I wasn't taking no for an answer. You really don't need to see it, he kept telling me, but I did need to see it. Had to at this point. Sure enough, he invited me to the Vermilion Branch one Monday afternoon. Having watched every Saw film and a video of animal slaughterhouses in my ethics class, I was sure I would be able to handle whatever the tape could throw at me. How naive I was. Mr. Bear's Cellar, episode 31. When Wilson went to collect the tape from evidence, the officer in charge of the evidence room shook his head at me, his face saying, "What are you doing?" Wilson explained that
why are you saying like that?
What are you doing?
like he's disgusted.
The episode opened inside a forest, the usual one from the
Oh Lord.
It took me a while to realize because it was night. Trees and leaves just looked like shapes dancing around in the darkness. A faint glow of light was present on the right side of the screen. There wasn't any apparent audio. It appeared to be a windy night, yet the trees weren't making any noise. Slowly, the camera began to pan towards the glow, revealing smoke rising from a hole with the tips of flames peeking over the top. Wilson paused at this point. "Are you sure you want to see this?" he asked me. I insisted on it, even though a voice in my head was telling me not to. The video continued. The cameraman moved towards the hole, showing a pit of fire. This was the hole that I had seen in the previous episode, only this time it was filled with shapes. I could see shapes moving around, fluttering, flailing, some motionless, and knew perfectly well what they were. The camera began to adjust the lights and burning flesh. Red, black, a blur of several movements and colors. Wish I could forget what I saw, but you can't forget a scene like this. This was not a horror movie, it was reality. Human beings were being killed in a horrifying way. A fate that I could...
That's wild, bro.
The video suddenly cut to dawn. The camera now positioned farther away from the hole. The fire was out. However, there was...
Can you imagine that people is like getting, like everybody's getting killed, and then like you're just sitting up here realizing it, and like nobody's not even thinking like it's true or not, and all these people is just getting killed, getting abducted, and getting caught with him, like man, yo, like
I'd be like, how is he not got caught yet?
yeah, like come on, bro, like this is getting creepy.
It looked just as unnerving. The suit was laid out in the shape of a cross. The cameraman did a lap around the suit, treating it like a treasured artifact. Placed at the head of the suit was a sign in bold red letters. INRI was printed. The cameraman moved back to the end of the suit, zooming into the bear's face. The episode finally ended. I was speechless. It was like a dream. I had a lot of terrible things on the internet, but I had never seen anything like this. Wilson asked if I was okay, and I replied with a shaking yes. I assured him as we left that I was fine, and that the video gave me some closure over the whole incident. He didn't seem too confident in me, but he left it at that. It was right though. I had nightmares for weeks. I gave up. I didn't care about this whole thing anymore. A sick man burned a bunch of kids alive, attracting them with a fake kids TV channel. I could have been one of his victims, yet I'm still here. I suppose I should be grateful, but I feel guilty. Am I still here only by pure luck? 10 months later, I'm back. But now I need to address something else.
Oh wow.
Flooded with messages. Some people asking for more details, some ask if I can upload the tapes, and some people email me claiming to be Mr. Bear. First, I cannot get the tapes uploaded as they're A, in police possession as evidence, and B, I have no idea how to transfer VHS onto a computer. As for people pretending to be Mr. Bear, you're not fooling me. When you have dozens of people pretending to be the same person, it doesn't work. I've even seen a fake Khaled in Local 21 YouTube channel, which is cute, but still not real. Even more
Yeah.
is the fact that someone hacked my account just to put up some demented poem about me on this blog. I'll leave it in the entry above this one just to show you guys. I've contacted my webmaster about the entry and was told that it was posted on Halloween. Oh, spooky. Attached to the email, paintwithb@aol.com, which I assume is another joke email. I'm over episode 31 now. The images of what I saw will stick with me for a while, but I want to do one last hurrah. I will get into contact with Mitchell Wilson again and hopefully get set up with the tapes in the possession of the other Peel Police branches. I'll try to update you guys as soon as I can. I'm sure this won't take so long again. Thank you to everyone who still reads this. Elliot.
Man.
Goodbye, Yogi.
While 1999 is a full story rather than an individual character, the main antagonist in the story, Mr. Bear, is the image most commonly associated with the story. In most depictions, the very small scale of the show is reflected in the fact that he is shown to be wearing a very low-budget moth-eaten bear suit. In some versions, eyes are missing or the mouth is unusually distorted. For example, appearing more circular than an actual mouth and being full of more human-looking or broken teeth. Origin and development. 1999 differs from the majority of popular creepypastas in that it makes no claim to have a supernatural or monstrous element, other than the human monster in the form of a disguised child murderer. Where it does share traits with other creepypastas is in its concept. 1999 is an example of recognized subgenre within creepypasta known as lost episode narratives. This particular form of creepypasta story is usually concerned with missing, hidden, or sometimes secret episodes of popular television shows, often kids shows that have some sinister, disturbing, or altogether less wholesome tinge to them. This subgenre also covers the tales of shows that only a few witnesses claim to have seen, or which many can partially recollect, but which are not officially recorded. In many of these stories, such as 1999, the shows in question are said to have had very small viewerships and are often public access television shows. This plot device is intended to make it more plausible that the show has only been seen or will only be recollected by a small number of people. An initial draft in 1999 was posted by its author, Camden Lamont, on November 14th of 2009. The story, which was posted to his Slack Lane blog, would be revised and improved from this point on until April of 2011. The story was posted to 4chan's X Paranormal board on September 9th of 2012. Interestingly, an anonymous poster submitted the story while stating that he wanted to look back on the story and suggested that he was posting it to inquire as to whether there was ever any follow-up or resolution after the cliffhanger ending. The manner in which this post was made is unusual. The allusions the poster makes to the story would not only seem to suggest that the poster expected the community to already be familiar with the story, as if it was already widespread, but that they would be familiar enough with the tale to know that it ended on a cliffhanger and even potentially be aware of some continuations of the story. Most of the conversation about the story after this point centered around the what happened next scenarios, and readers did head back to the original Slack Lane blog looking for answers, though some might suggest that this would be a clever way for Lamont to drive attention to his story if he were the one to post it on 4chan, suggesting that the story is already well known and starting a discussion about it to drum up interest, especially if a sequel or continuation was planned. No official resolution has ever come from Lamont, and the story remains a cliffhanger, which would seem to indicate that it was not him who posted it on 4chan. In fact, the story gained far more attraction and popularity in 2014 after it was read aloud on YouTube by such popular channels as CrEepyPaSta and Some Ordinary Gamers. Some channels have even uploaded supposed episodes of the fictional series from Caledon Local 21, complete with distortion and tracking lines intended to indicate that the video had been taken from an old VHS, despite the aspect ratio giving the piece away as a far more modern creation. That same year, the story appeared on creepypasta websites. The fan-made wiki for the 1999 creepypasta features detailed breakdowns and overviews of each episode of this fictional television show, and displays images supposedly of Mr. Bear, though they're...
Have you met them yet?
Met who? The ghost children possessing giant robots?
Yo, we seen
Mr. President, did you?
Five Nights is fire.
There are many variants and little consistency in the appearance.
I'm not gonna lie, but the fact that he took his time to make a whole TV show out of this, though, that's
Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
The adaptation, which remains faithful to the source material, was produced in collaboration with Lamont, and he is listed as the executive producer. 1999, the longest story on this list. This one was probably one of the best. I think it's second place behind the Russian sleep experiment, but this was a full-on story. I really appreciated that. I really like that, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a horrible person, but I'll say it. I really liked that the antagonist of the story, Mr. Bear, it's gonna sound horrible, burned the children instead of doing something I don't want to say to them. I just feel like that would have been another cop-out situation where it's like, oh, he's an EDP. Like it's just like, he's doing a ritual, you know? Of course, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying, I expected it to go the EDP route, but it surprised me. But yeah, let's head on to the next one.
Okay.
Teddy, written by Raiden. My sister had a teddy bear, a scary
No!
No!
What is this?
to me. The thing had eyes that looked so real. It was as if it was made.
Yo, that thing look like an Oreo.
Face was just blank and unsettling.
Got the Oreos.
I'm already uneasy about
Hey,
that.
look at that. What the hell's on the corner of your bed?
He had a happy
Oh no, man.
on a small cabinet in the corner of the hallway upstairs. Every time I walked upstairs, I saw that creepy bear suddenly glare around the corner at me as if it was watching me. This wasn't the weird part. It started to get really weird about 5 years later, at the age of 6 or 7. My sister had lost interest in the bear, so my mother just threw it in the old toy cupboard. The only problem was that the cupboard was in my room. When I was 9, old enough to stay on my own in bed without any assistance, I'd get into my bed every night and turn my lamp off. This is when I got scared. As I was getting some sleep, I suddenly remembered my mom putting that teddy in the cupboard. I slowly turned to look across my room to see it through the glass. My heart suddenly stopped as I thought about the horrors the plush had caused me. But at the age of 9, I wanted to grow up and lose my fears. So I just shook it off and put my head on the pillow. When I got up to pull my sheets on a bit further, I noticed something that would scar me for life. There sat at the end of my bedroom, the teddy. My heart started beating normally again. I sat there staring at it for about a minute. When I needed to yawn, I closed my eyes. I opened them to see the teddy sitting closer to my bed. At this point, I was really freaked out. I started to
Okay.
go back to the wall.
Man, at that point, I would just got up and toss that joint out, man.
Thank you.
Bed. I was so startled that I almost fainted from fear. When I blinked, it had gone. I looked around. To my relief, I saw no sign of it. I sat my head back down on my pillow, hoping for some sleep. Then, I opened my eyes. It was above my head, staring straight down. I screamed as it lunged down at me. I will never see a bear the same way again. A few years later, after years of horror, I burned it. I sat in enjoyment as the bear was turned to smoking ashes in my fireplace. I have lived my teenage life through adolescence. The only thing I could remember that was in any way similar to my bad experience was when I watched Trainspotting. That fucking baby scene shocked me so badly, but other than that, all was well. When I turned 19, I was about to move into my new home. I had been given the keys to the house and was ready to set up my furniture. After hours of carrying, I carried the final box from the removal truck into the front door and shut the door behind me. I turned to go into the kitchen and put it on the table. I opened it to see a cabinet. I took it out, walked into the living room, and placed it in the corner. I stared at it and thought to myself, I don't remember packing this cabinet. I didn't really care that much as I had just moved into my new home. I walked back into the kitchen to grab my television and brought it into the living room when I saw it. The teddy. It just sat there, staring at me.
Oh my god.
At that point,
This is probably the worst one from this video. Some people recommended this one.
at this
I don't know,
point,
the
I would
image
just
was
call an
pretty
exorcist or
creepy,
something.
But it has no value. What was that ending? It was so weird. I didn't like that one. If I were to do a rating system, this would be a 0 out of 10. Matter of fact, negative a million out of 10. That was bad. That was so bad. Let's head on to the next one. Mario. No, this was a true story. It sums up what
Oh no!
I was playing this.
Oh man, no. Yo man, no, we're blocking this. Like we're blocking this camera, bro.
Yeah.
No, we're man.
It's late at night.
Nah,
I
man.
need to get to sleep, so that's all I have time for. So
Man, why our favorite Nintendo character? Why?
Mario.
Man.
Out of boredom, I decided to patrol the hacks waiting to be moderated section. Seems that we had quite a bit. 33 if I recall correctly. The first few hacks I saw when I sorted them by date were a couple of really horrible ones with bad screenshots to boot. Naturally showed these hacks to the Centralites currently on SNWC. We were laughing about how bad some of them were. But then I got a hack called Mario. Just that. Nothing more, nothing less. The description seemed quite odd, as if some Japanese hacker was trying to translate the original plot of Super Mario World into English and failing horribly. I showed this to Kieran and he started laughing at the description. It read as follows. As you play the role of Super Mario Plumber, verify that you are beautiful Princess Kieran Button Mash. Again, Bowser kidnapped the evil king. It is your job to save her. This hack includes 6 levels, so very long. I simply dismissed this as someone trying to act Japanese and a really crappy hack with some edits or so. That's what I was thinking it was at first. Curiosity got the best of me. I decided to download the hack, not knowing what I was in for, since the single screenshot of the hack was the title screen with nothing but the letters Mario from Super Mario World's title screen. I thought it was a little odd how there were no dates or anything either, as hackers usually place their names and dates on the titles to mark when the project was started. So when I opened the hack, I was greeted by 2 files, one called 3007014, a simple .txt file, 27 kilobytes in size, and the IPS file, simply named Mario. For some odd reason, I wanted to see what the author of the hack had to say. When I opened the hack In Notepad, there was nothing but indistinguishable symbols and letters and punctuation. Sort of like how when you open a ROM in a text editor like Notepad, seems like the author just completely copied his ROM to TXT form. Though I could be wrong. Taking a closer look at the top of the TXT file mixing with the gibberish I found, the only thing that looked like English there was this. Y0YAJFIFHHYB. Find me, find me, find me, find me, find me.
What? Yo!
To waste some of my time, but making me find some.
Find me, find me, find me, find me, find me.
Yeah, I ain't going to do that. Yo, I ain't going to find. Yo.
But no one will ever be able to make sense of. I decided that because my interest was growing steadily, I would start looking through my horribly disorganized download folder for a copy of a clean ROM, which I had downloaded a great deal of time before the events of tonight unfolded in an IPS patcher. Of course, my choice for the job was a lunar IPS, so I then proceeded to move the ROM and the IPS patcher to the folder with the hack, patch the ROM, not knowing what to expect next, and I quickly hurried to drag it to ZSNES and play what I thought was to be terrible in the form of a ROM image. I noticed on boot up that the author had taken the time to change the header of his hack. Instead of the usual Super Mario World you would normally see when putting up a ROM in ZSNES, it just had the letters Mario there again. At this point, I gained a little hope, because normally people who do horrible half-assed edits to the ROM generally don't know enough to change a header title. I thought I wasn't wasting my time with this, and my mood brightened slightly at the thought of seeing what the author had to offer in his interesting little hack. So the title screen loaded, exactly like it would with Super Mario World, except it just had Mario in the title, like I mentioned earlier. Something else had grabbed my interest, more so than the unusual absence of layer 3 tiles on the title screen. Mario's normal bright colored and happy palette seemed, how can I put it, dull. What was once violet like red was now what seemed like gray with a slight red tint to it, and I'm fairly sure his pants were looking more gray than blue too. I thought this was strange, and I wondered why he had decided to give Mario such a dull palette. Regardless as to what his intentions were, I felt that something was wrong. Not in the sense that the palette was slightly bad, but that the hack was empty, like something had happened. Upon pressing start and selecting a new file, like a lot of the other countless Mario hacks I've played in the past, there was some sort of intro screen that basically described the entirety of the plot in a short paragraph, just small enough to fit into a small black box. I began reading, and for the most part, the message stayed the same. But there was one key factor that made this interesting. Apparently the main antagonist of this hack wasn't Bowser, but it was Mario. The message read as follows. Welcome, this is Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find that Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Mario is at it again. What the? This wasn't the original message from Super Mario World, I thought to myself. Normally I wouldn't think anything of this, seeing as how, over my nearly 2 years at SMW Central, I have played countless hacks and have seen many different intro messages, but this one just really stuck out. At this point, I definitely knew there was something odd about this hack. Upon letting the intro level music play, I pressed the start button on my controller to finally get to the overworld and begin my journey into this unknown hack. Upon entering the overworld, everything seemed normal. Same old level paths, same old music, but the level names were different. Instead of Yoshi's house, like it's always been, it was now simply just Yoshi's. The house part was gone. I thought that this was strange, and I began to lose hope in the hack because it seemed like barely anything had changed at all from the original. I was hoping to see something new. Well, unluckily for me, I got my wish, as you'll see when you read on. I decided to enter the level out of curiosity. When I entered, the whole house that's normally there was gone. No more smoke, no more fire, no more little birdies, no more treehouse. All that was left was the message box. I decided to hit it. Upon opening, the message I expected to be there was replaced with what seemed like binary. Apparently it says Notepad. At this point, I was on IRC telling everyone how the hack was starting to weird me out, which in itself fielded some sarcastic responses, but hey, I expected it. Anyway, after this, my interest level in the hack skyrocketed, and along with it, my paranoia. Oh boy, I was in for a fun surprise. So I decided to head left. Upon reaching what was before known as Yoshi's Island 1, the level was now labeled Never Come Back. Now, I thought things were gonna be all Kaizo Death Trap, because generally, that's what people name their levels in Kaizo hacks, to make sure the player doesn't go there. To my surprise, it wasn't quite that way, though I wish it had been. Upon entering level 105, I was greeted by the insanely loud clown car that Bowser's flying vehicle makes right before Peach falls out. Of course, with my headphones being moderately high, the sound scared the living shit out of me, which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been so nervous beforehand. I decided at this time it would be best if I turned the volume on my headphones down, as not to get any more unpleasant surprises such as that one. When I entered the level, other than the music, everything seemed to be the same, except for the fact that the little Koopa that slides on the ledges wasn't there anymore, nor was the bonsai bill. The dragon coin was still there. However, for some odd reason, I wasn't able to collect it, or rather any dragon coins at all. The author made certain of that. I also noticed that there was a brown used block near the spot where the bonsai bill normally shows up. I can only assume this was a revisit to the level after I had beaten it, like I had heard in some half-assed creepy stories in other Mario games. Now I was wondering like this, making me wonder about the intro message. Had Mario done something previously to Dinosaur Land? Was this in Bowser's point of view? I quickly dismissed the latter option, because it seemed kind of stupid. So that left me thinking that Mario at one point in time in the author's story did something. But what? What did Mario do? My mind was nothing but rushing thoughts at this point. However, I quickly dismissed them and ventured further into the level, only to find that all the blocks had basically been hit. Coins had been collected, except dragon coins. Those were all still there and unattainable. There were no enemies, and I could no longer go down pipes. What kind of bullshit was I playing here? I kept thinking to myself. At this point, I felt uncomfortable, but I decided to keep venturing. Eventually, I came across a message box, which I wasn't surprised was still in the level. Being the idiot I am, I went and hit the box. Upon hitting it, I was greeted with the familiar black box once again. The message was edited, obviously, as I had figured that was a given at this point. It read as follows: point of advice, I hate you. Now, I thought things were starting to get the vibe that the author was a twisted and warped individual, and that I was right about Mario having done something. At this point, I was basically rushing to get to the end of the level, so I just scurried by, and then I came across another message box. However, this one was just a blank box with point of advice at the top with nothing else in it. I quickly disregarded it and headed off further to the right, hoping to free myself of all hell that was once level 105. Upon reaching the end, I saw a fire flower in the top block where the four-way block intersection used to be. However, it was too high for me to reach by normal means, so I just continued onward, like the blind, curious idiot I am would do. So I finally beat the level, and as usual, the path to the Yellow Switch Palace was unlocked. I decided to head up the path that normally leads to the Yellow Switch Palace, and I found that when I entered the main overworld, every other landmass and decoration besides the ghosts were gone. Nothing really changed at the Yellow Switch Palace except for the switch message. All that changed was that Switch Palace would change to Mario World. Boring. Anyway, just when I thought I was done with this abomination that calls itself a hack, I found that Yoshi's Island 2 has also been edited. Oh joy, I thought to myself. Sarcasm. Upon reaching Yoshi's Island 2, I found that it had been renamed to Yoshi's House, the original name of level 104. I decided to enter and found that the palette of the level had been changed along with the background. They seem to have been changed to the same palette as Yoshi's Island 3, you know, greenish tan and such, except the background was pushed down some and was now a rotting brown color, and that the vegetation on the FG was now no longer present. I decided to explore the level a bit and came across the trails of Koopas that countless players have used the shell to rack free one-ups with. I decided to ignore them and see if any more of the level was changed. I eventually came across the question mark that holds Yoshi and decided to free him. Upon freeing him, I got this message. Hooray! Thank you for rescuing me. My name is Yoshi. On my way to rescue my friends, Mario trapped me in that egg. This had me wondering what kind of sick and twisted hack I was playing. I had thoughts of all possible scenarios of Mario attacking Dinosaur Land horribly and causing irreversible damage. The author had me hooked with his sick little game, and like any other idiot, I took the bait and kept coming back for more. Somewhere not far off from the Yoshi question mark block, I found a message box in the same place I remember that it had always been. Though, if I've learned anything from playing this, it's that whatever had to be in that message box was not going to be remotely normal in the slightest. This made me hesitate to hit it, but I ended up doing so anyways. I wanted to find out more. The message I was greeted with was as follows: but is there anything I can do to change your mind? What the fuck? I thought to myself.
Yeah.
What would it change my mind about anyway? Was this about Mario and whatever he did, and about how people were trying to convince him to stop? Was Yoshi talking to me through the message boxes? Or was it about me? About me playing the hack? As if the hack was trying to talk me through the message boxes? Either way, whether it was for more backstory on what Mario had done, or if it was questioning my decision to keep going, I decided to keep progressing despite the obvious signs that I should have quit playing the hack a while ago. As I progressed further, I found that I was right. All vegetation was now gone, and nothing was left at all, except a few enemies, like chucks and moles and such. Even the pipes were gone. I came across another message box. Like all other times before, I decided to hit it. I was greeted with yet another cryptic message. Point of advice. This is the selfish way out. Selfish way out? What the hell? Was he calling me selfish for continuing to play the hack despite the warnings? Had Mario made some kind of selfish decision that only benefited him? Was Yoshi still trying to talk to me? What the hell was this guy trying to tell me? At this point, I was creeped out to the point that I was shaking slightly. A mix of anticipation, fear, and the fact that my room was terribly cold last night. I closed the message box and once again proceeded further. The area with the moles seemed the same, except for the fact that the block next to the vine block was gone, along with the happy clouds, the dragon coin the vine was allowed access to. This made me feel gloomy, to say the least. Not so much frightened as I was depressed. It's a feeling I couldn't really explain well. From this point on, it was basically just a big empty stretch of land to the end of the level. I proceeded quickly, wanted to get the fuck out of there, as I felt that I had spent enough time looking around. So, me and Yoshi, I still had him at the time, opened up the next path on the overworld. It too was changed. What was once Yoshi's Island 3 now read as Yoshi's Island 7. Memories of Super Burrito World flooded my mind, and the levels would take giant leaps in number order, which made it seem ridiculous. Though at this time, I didn't find it quite
What is going on, man?
That's insane.
Earlier, I entered the level. As I entered, I was welcomed by a solid black background and a blue and...
This is not a water bottle. It's an air-up bottle that flavors ordinary water through scent using flavor pots. This is Joanne, getting her daily dose of hydration without sugar or...
She was thirsty.
Gray-colored floor. The place seemed frozen frozen, lifeless and barren. There was nothing in the level at all, except the goal point, just a clear stretch of land with nothing else at all. I quickly lost interest and finished the level. This was what seemed like the most empty and creepy level in the game, though as you read on, it gets far worse. With the level beaten, a new path opened up. Yoshi's Island 4 was just now, leave now. Now I hesitated as to whether I would stop playing, but my interest kept me going further. At this point, SMWC was nothing but me posting findings and messages from the hack, just so others could experience what I was experiencing. The channel sadly was unusually inactive. Seemed like no one really cared or wasn't around. I felt alone. I proceeded into the level. For the most part, everything seemed the same, except for the fact that there was now no water at all to keep me from falling in pits without using Yoshi as a sacrifice. The level was also void of all enemies as well. Whenever I got to an area that seemed too far for me to jump, I found that I could just walk right across on the air, thus getting rid of the need to use Yoshi as a sacrifice. It's apparent that the hack wanted me to keep him. I was able to get to the pipe that usually leads to the exit level. I went in and found out the room was exactly the same. Everything in the right place and nothing edited, or so I thought. The message box once again broke the mood of that brief moment of relief I had gained upon entering the pipe. At this point I was questioning whether I should keep going to see how it ends, or wait while I still have a bit of common sense left. The message box was sort of indistinguishable, and I couldn't really make sense of it. For a moment I tried to figure out what the box meant, but eventually I just gave up and beat the level. You get if you cut the at the end, if you collect you can. I figured the box wasn't worth the time anyways. With the level beaten, the path to the first world castle opened, now renamed from number 1 Iggy's castle to number 1 Go Back. I sure did feel welcome here. Sarcasm. I decided to completely ignore the level name, as I just wanted to get this over with and be done with it forever. What seemed like a normal castle intro was made especially creepy, given the fact that I had to dismount Yoshi. I felt for the first time that I was actually abandoning him, and I wish I had taken him with me. The inside room of the castle looked strange. There was this darkish, bluish, greenish, black lava on the ceiling, and there were goal points that looked like pillars. Aside from that, next to each pillar, there was an increasing amount of message boxes next to each pillar the further I got. The room was basically just a big hallway with no enemies or anything of the sort. Every message box I pressed either gave me a blank box with Yoshi's signature at the bottom, or the message that read as follows: "Don't you think you've caused enough trouble?" Another cryptic message. So at this point, I wasn't surprised. Not in the slightest. Again, the thoughts in my head started circling, wondering what exactly Mario had done, why he was here, why everything seemed to hate everything about him and wanted him gone forever. I was feeling more depressed and scared at this point, to be honest, and I had no idea what to expect next. I proceeded down the hallway, checking message boxes filled with nothing but the same 2 messages over and over. It's like they were telling me to stop playing or something. Obviously, I ignored them and kept going. I eventually reached the end of the hallway. There was a door, which I entered. I was welcomed by nothing but a small section of land, and at that, the level was auto-scrolling, so I figured this must be the end, that the author wanted me to jump into the pit and commit suicide or something, thus ending my journey. I was wrong. The auto-scroll pushed me over the ledge, and I was still walking. Unfortunately, the whole level was nothing but a stretch of invisible land to another small piece of land, just big enough for a boss door to fit. The auto-scroll came to a stop, and I prepared for the worst. I gathered my composure, swallowed some spit in my mouth, and took a deep breath. I entered. Nothing but a normal Iggy boss. I felt cheated in a way, though. I was happy to think it was finally over. I defeated Iggy with 2 jumps effortlessly, which was actually the quickest I had beaten him before. After he fell in the lava, the course clear message popped up as usual. It ended and I was brought to the Rescue X scene, though instead of the usual message, I was shown something disturbing and vastly different, like a profile for the scene of a crime. It was as follows. Victim number 1. Eyeballs were unable to be found. The victim was found lying on her carpet. Causes of death unknown. Hand marks with unidentifiable fingerprints were found all over the corpse. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I said as I read the disturbing message. I mean, it was a hack, but still, who the hell was this victim? Why were her eyeballs gouged out? And just what could have made those unidentifiable fingerprints that were found on her body? Was this Mario's doing? Is this what the author was trying to tell me? And furthermore, was the girl Princess Toadstool? It took me a while to see if I read the message correctly. Then I proceeded outwards. So I was wondering what would happen next. Since the main map was completely gone, there was no trace of it anywhere. To my surprise, it still showed the path marked for donut plains, the event tile still being there, marking the path to the lone level on the giant map that was once the main world. It was still called Donut Plains 1. I thought we were finally done once more, but when I entered the level, I could see that like the previous times, I was once again wrong. Upon entering, I saw 2 message boxes. They said as follows: "There's no way out of here. Fly away." I found it quite strange that both message boxes were contradicting each other. One was telling me that there was no way out of this accursed hell, and the other was telling me that if I could fly away, I could be free. Though I saw no feather or enemies to grab one with. Was this telling me that I could either rise up and go to heaven or stay in hell forever, wallowing in my despair? Did I need a cape to proceed? And what happens after this? Is the whole game like this? I began to create more thoughts in my head, trying to figure out the message boxes out, but to no avail. I proceeded to walk to the right. I made a jump, but I found that I was stuck in the area. There was an invisible wall, and I had thought I hit a dead end. When I landed, I tried moving right again to see if there was any way to go on. All of a sudden, I heard the pipe sound, and I was making the pipe animation animation, except there was no pipe present, so it looked quite odd. Then I was taken to a level with a black background, stone blocks for ground, and a small door. I was immediately given a mushroom to prevent me from entering it, so I proceeded further to see if there's anything else in the level. I found that the room was nothing but a long stretch of concrete blocks and doors that were too small for me to enter because of the mushroom I got. It's obvious the author didn't want me going through any of them, or I wouldn't have gotten the mushroom in the first place. As I proceeded, I found myself at a dead end. Since there was nothing left for me to look at, I tried to go right again. It worked. I went through the brick wall, it acted like a pipe, and I did a pipe animation that looked like I was going into the darkness. I was then taken to a small room with what seemed like a pit and a wall. I jumped down the pit, seeing as there was no other option, though I found that the bottom of the pit was solid. I tried pressing down in a bunch of areas until I came across a pipe. Mario slowly did the pipe transition downwards off the screen. Expecting another level, I waited, but there was no more, just a black screen. I was unable to continue, unable to pause or exit the level or move. There was nothing at all. This was the video game representation of death, a crash. Mario had died. After playing, I think I finally understand what was happening. I believe Mario was atoning for his actions, eventually being plummeted into hell that looked exactly like Yoshi's Island, where he was lost to the grip of death forever. I was finally done playing, and quite relieved that that nightmare was over. Activity on the IRC seemed to be back up again. I quickly shared my tales with the rest of SMWC and typed this documentation of it. If you feel daring enough, you too can witness my tale firsthand. Remember guys, it's only a hack. It can't hurt you. Or can it?
Man.
Or can it?
So the Mario one is a pretty interesting creepypasta. One, because the internet recently found the OG image, which, in case you don't know, this is like the creepy one, and this is the recently found original image. It's still kind of creepy. Sorry, whoever's in that picture. It's a creepy picture. But you guys are going to notice that a lot of these creepypastas are just straight up corny. That's why I didn't do a rating system last time. It just, a lot of them would be kind of, they just fall flat on their face. But in terms of the Mario one, I like that we had a video game one again. Last one was Sonic.exe. I don't think we have a video game one besides this one. Yeah, no. Anytime it's about video games, it's pretty cool because you can just recreate it in a ROM, and I have background footage for it. Let's head on to the next one. The Smiling Man, written by Blue Title.
I heard of him.
Years ago, I looked down to
I heard of him.
Oh, hell.
I would often find myself bored after
Oh, no, bro. Why you look like that?
went to sleep. Pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend my time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night. Never once had a reason to
Ew.
be afraid. I always used to joke with my
Dude, I seen.
This is the Joker if he smoked some.
Yeah.
This is the Joker when he smoked, bro.
I seen a whole bunch of scary YouTube videos of him, man. So shoot.
With very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street, on my side, was a silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass me by. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still, until I could make out his face. His eyes were open wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His mouth was formed in a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes of the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. I took my eyes off him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me, but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments, I felt relieved, until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and now was slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and shadows, but I was certain he was facing me. I had looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds, so it was clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked I stood there for some time, staring at him, and then he started moving towards me again. He took giant, exaggerated, tiptoed steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone, except that he was moving very quickly. I like to say at this point I ran away or pulled out my pepper spray or my cell phone or anything at all, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen as the smiling man crept towards me, and then he stopped again, about a car length away from me, still smiling his smile, still looking to the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to mind. What I meant to ask was, "What do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whimper. what? Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice, and that only made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just stood there, smiling. And then, after what felt like forever, he turned around, very slowly, and started dance walking away, just like that. Not wanting to turn my back to him again, I just watched him go, until he was far enough to almost be out of sight. And then, I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way, and this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off the side road and back onto a better lit road with sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept glancing over my shoulder, always expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in that city for 6 months after that night, and I never went out for another walk. There was something about his face that always haunted me. He didn't look drunk, he didn't look high, he looked completely and utterly insane, and that's a very, very scary thing to see. The Smiling Man. I never heard of this one. I had a handful of people tell me to put it in the video, but reading it, again, I'm not going to use the C word, but I am. Corny. Not much to say. Not really something that would make my hairs perk up before I go to sleep. It's kind of funny just thinking about a dancing man with a smile on his face. Alright guys, so that's the end of the video. First of all, make sure to leave a like. Second, I am looking forward to making a volume 3. I really like these. I don't know.
Oh, volume 3? Oh, you about to be having a series on this.
And the last video, whatever number that is, with modern creepypastas that no one has heard of. I think that would be super cool. But if you guys have recommendations for volume 3, please let me know, and I will put them in the video. Yes, Ben Drowned was supposed to be in this video, but then I realized it's just really long, so gonna put that in another video. This video, is like over an hour and 40 minutes. It's almost 2 hours. I do want to give a space in this video to a slideshow of the recent fan art I've gotten with my new logo. I just want to thank you guys so much. If you don't like it, then fuck off. I mean, I'm not gonna change it. I don't know in what world I would see like comments 386 and be like, oh my god, he's right, it's corny. Like, no. I finally feel like I have an identity that isn't my brand. Yeah, slideshow starts now.
Okay. Y'all, we need to find somebody that can make that for us. He's good at it.
Yep.
He or she is good at it. Okay.
Wow, great slideshow, right? I haven't seen it yet, nor have I made it. Great slideshow, right? If you guys want to submit fan art, make sure to do it in my Discord or just tweet it at me. Discord is easier. It's just, there's a channel right there called fan art. It's discord.gg/Tuv. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at my name is Tuv. And I'm so happy you guys are enjoying the new style of videos. I know they come out a little later than usual. You know, I'm putting in more work. And I got an interview coming out on my second channel, an interview with Jake Weber. Some of you guys may know him. So make sure to go check that out when it comes out. Go to my second channel. I be uploading like non-morbid videos over there. So if you like me, if you like the content, make sure to go check it out. And one last thing, make sure to go watch my last video, the Shay St. John video. It's an underrated video on my channel, and that's okay, but I put a lot of effort into it.
Alright, y'all, that's the end of the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to us, y'all. Please hit the bell. This is a very good video.
Yeah, it was actually scary though.
Yo, for real, we can't wait to check out volume 3 if he ever makes a volume 3. See, here's volume 1 right here. So if y'all want us to react to volume 3 and stuff, we're definitely gonna do it. So when he drops it, when he has up on his channel, we're definitely gonna react to it. So y'all, we love y'all so much. Thank y'all for y'all love and support. See you next time.
See you next time.
Deuces.